Globally, mobile money has revolutionized access to certain financial services. In South Africa, Sandton, Johannesburg is one of the world's youngest major cities and is the country's main industrial and financial capital. MFS Africa is based in Sandton and is driving this mobile money revolution, bringing more possibilities, more connections, and more accessibility to people using mobile money.
Our mission as MFS Africa is to make borders matter less by making transactions as simple as making a phone call.
Dare Okujo is the founder and CEO of MFS Africa, a leading pan-African fintech company operating the largest digital payment hub on the continent.
My entrepreneurial journey was about connecting few dots. The dot between what happened in the telecom industry, where we moved from early 90s, where making a phone call was a whole event, and that was when I left Benin, and remember very well my first phone call back home, to a world where we assume that we can make a phone call and we don't even need to know where we're calling. We just dial numbers without even checking. I was connecting that to money, that why the same is not true for money. And in early 2010s, we started seeing a huge surge of mobile money usage in some domestic market like Kenya, Uganda, Cote d'Ivoire. But those were restricted to the countries and sometimes to the network that you originate the transaction from. And having seen that evolution on the telecommunication side, I couldn't help but thinking about how we could replicate that for money. And that was set me on the journey to become an entrepreneur.
There is no way of understanding Africa through the World Bank reports or any of the reports that are published than to actually walk the streets of Africa. And we encourage all our teams to be on the ground and walk those streets to be able to understand that context and be able to then assimilate those differences in the way we work.
Pretty much every fintech company started anywhere in Africa has at least a regional aspiration. And that company will need to access digital funds in one form or the other, whether they're dealing in insurance, in lending, in investment, in payments, needs to work with digital fund. Money in general in Africa right now is cash. It's offline. It's not digital. It is being digitalized across the continent through these agent networks, whether it's mobile money agents like we have in Mobile Money Market or POS agents such as Baxi Agent in Nigeria. MFS Africa, we help to connect different fintechs, all fintechs if you want, to that digital cash that is coming through the network. So our position is one of an enabler, and our ultimate goal is to be able to provide one API to any financial inclusion company, any fintech company, anywhere in Africa, but give them a much bigger market where they find themselves. So we speak quite often of emerging market. That's what we do. We're trying to make it possible for young entrepreneurs, tech entrepreneurs in general, no matter where they start, what it is that they're selling, that the full 1.2 billion people in Africa should be their market. And our role is to enable that. One thing that helps me run MFS Africa is ultimately one of the users of our services in the form of me sending money back home almost every month. And I've been doing this since '94. I send money pretty much from any country in the world back to Benin, to my parents. And I think it's important for us, for the business, that we actually live the product that we are building, that we put ourselves in the shoes of the ultimate customer. Although we are a B2B company, I don't think we can be successful without a really good understanding of what it is that the end user is going through. The growth of the business has been pretty impressive organically. We've been doubling our revenue year on year organically. Since 2020, we made 3 acquisitions. So Bionic in 2020, Baxi in 2021 in Nigeria, and GTP in 2022, which is a prepaid and digital card issuer out of Oklahoma in the US.
To manage growth over a relatively short period of time, there are a few things that are key. One is alignment to the mission. Our mission is to make borders matter less. This alignment of mission is very well communicated across the company, and that helps us keep everyone aligned. Secondly is our culture. Our culture has been our biggest strength since the beginning. Our culture is defined by our values: care, simplify, and be revolutionary. We care about our mission, we care about our people, we care about what we do. Simplify. The complexities of Africa are just massive. And be revolutionary. To do anything and to solve the problems that we are solving, which has never been solved, you need to be revolutionary.
And so we are risk takers in nature. And that means we encourage everyone, the quiet voices inside. We make space for people to be able to voice dissent and to disagree with everyone, including myself, usually with my, and those values, we have found that over the years, they actually, they help us make decisions.
Diversity is important for us at MFS Africa. That's how we've been able to build a company that is both locally relevant, but also internationally competent.
We have a lot of the things we need to build a company that will last 100 years. And I think that's really the next 3-5 years of the company is how do you make those foundations strong enough for the growth to come. And that means continue to consolidate what we're doing in Africa, expand our network to cover all African countries. We're now in 40 countries. We're covering about 400 million mobile wallets. Our goal, and we said this publicly before, is to reach 500 million mobile wallet by 2025 and to be in all African countries. So we have to continue that work. We also have to continue to play our role in crossing currencies across the continent. One of the complexity that entrepreneurs and businesses face is the fragmentation of Africa. That, you have a great idea in Zambia, it is too small of a market. We want to make it possible for you to sell to someone in Madagascar and then in Liberia, and not having to worry about the technology and the currency issues that come with that. And I don't see a future of scale that does not involve merging markets, roads, bridges, payment. We've done that on telecommunication. And that's probably, if we need to take a clue, that's what it is. I mean, you look at what YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, in a way, have done for young urban Africans. It's hard to tell who's from Nairobi, who's from Dar es Salaam, who's from Lagos, who's from Dakar, because we've been able to connect and erase borders at that level. The reality is, can people trade with each other across the continent? And how easy it is for me to trade with people across the continent. And for that, we need some regulation, and hopefully the Continental Trade Agreement will provide that. We need ability to move goods and services, and we need ability to pay each other. And that last part is what we are focusing on at MFS Africa. And I think our work is not just important to us, it's important to the whole continent. See, if we don't succeed to do that, it will be very hard to reach prosperity at scale in Africa. When I close my eyes and I try to imagine, the old self and looking back, I would love for what we've built to dissolve itself in fabric of society. The tools that we are putting in hands of companies and people, I will love to see it taken for granted, that people don't even realize that they're using it. That's the future I like to imagine.